Please welcome Senior Vice President Global Group Communications Volkswagen AG, Hans-Gert Bode.
Bonsoir. Bonsoir, Mesdames, Messieurs. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Guten Abend, meine sehr verehrten Damen und Herren. Schön, dass Sie alle da sind. Herzlich willkommen zur Group Media Night von Volkswagen beim mittlerweile schon 88. Genfer Automobilsalon. Das sind wieder einmal sehr, sehr bewegte Zeiten für unsere Branche und ganz sicher auch für den Volkswagen-Konzern. Vor gut einer Woche haben wir die besten Zahlen der Unternehmensgeschichte veröffentlicht in Bezug auf Auslieferungen, Umsatz und Ergebnis. Und auch die ersten Wochen des neuen Jahres stimmen uns sehr, sehr zuversichtlich. Aber das ist, wie Sie alle wissen, nur die eine Seite der Wirklichkeit. Die Herausforderung, vor der die gesamte Branche steht, werden sicher nicht kleiner. Die vergangenen Tage haben eines wirklich deutlich gemacht. Wir müssen vor allem Lösungen finden, Lösungen für die Städte und effiziente, sichere und vor allen Dingen saubere Mobilität sichern. Da passt es sehr gut, dass das Motto des heutigen Abends Urban Mobility lautet. Schwerpunktthema für diese Group Night. Wir tragen dabei als sehr großer globaler Anbieter
a very large global car company, we bear particular responsibility to manage and design and shape tomorrow's mobility. Short-term and concrete measures are called for, and as you've grown used to expect from Geneva, is looking ahead to the future. This is what Matthias Müller is going to address during his keynote. Then our brands will present their novelties and solutions for mobility in urban environments. And without further ado, I would like to give the floor to the CEO of Volkswagen AG, Matthias Müller. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hans-Gert Bode has failed to mention that it's his birthday today. Let's give him a big hand and many happy returns to him. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm particularly pleased to see that you've joined us tonight. The quotation behind me is from the American urban researcher Fred Kent. You might be surprised that the car manager quotes this statement, particularly on occasion of a motor show. Seriously, just a couple of years it would have been hard to conceive of, even for me. And this is something by which you can see that things are moving indeed in our society, in our industry, at Volkswagen. To preserve the freedom of individual mobility, we must let go of many concepts we associate today with driving a car. And to do this, we must redefine our very concept of mobility. And as Kant puts it rightly, the human being with its needs to be in the center of our thinking and not technology or engineering. And this is something we'd like to start a dialogue with you tonight. I remain certain it is in metropolitan cities and conurbation where the future of mobility happens as it is here. Problems are the most pressing, and with that, the need for change. By 2050, almost 70% of the world population is going to live in the large metropolitan areas. Those are 2.5 billion people more than today. And the attraction of cities remains unbroken. Urban lifestyle is a success model, also economically speaking. More than 80% of worldwide gross national product is generated in cities, for which mobility is key. On the other hand, huge challenges lie ahead. Increasing air pollution, traffic clogging, right up to a standstill, sometimes infrastructure which is crumbling and not renewed. People perceive cars as part of the problem, and I entirely understand this. But I remain convinced we can be and we need to be part of the solution. Individual mobility, reconceived, can generate economic well-being, freedom and participation into the future. And this is what we're working on. We will clearly intensify our efforts in the coming years. A company like Volkswagen, when it comes to the great topics of the future, must be decisive and must be a model and resolutely lead the head. This is the mission that I live and breathe personally. And we are serious indeed. This is illustrated by the following figure. By 2022, the Volkswagen Group will invest more than 34 billion euros in electromobility, into autonomous driving, digital networking, interconnectedness and new mobility services. These topics are in the focus of our plan for the future, the Strategy 2025. They are concomitantly important levers to make urban mobility more efficient, cleaner and more human in the cities. This will not be a given. There is no panacea, because there is not one city, because all cities are not the same. Worldwide metropolitan cities are fundamentally different in terms of size, economic strength, earning power, demographics, culture and more. In our group research, the R&D department, people are intensively exploring these trends and future scenarios. 200 experts from all areas and brands, we call them our future heads, are looking far into the future, into the year 2030 and beyond. The project is called Futures of Mobility for a reason, because there is more than one possible future to mobility. Indeed, take San Francisco as an example. Here we have an environmentally minded, technology enthusiast population which will ensure that e-cars spread and become more pervasive quickly. We need quick and easy, uncomplicated and accessible charging points for e-cars throughout the city. Space becomes a valuable resource increasingly, and commuters will use autonomous cars that are true mobile offices increasingly for this reason. In the conurbation of Beijing, by 2013, more than 130 million people will live. Commuter traffic will dramatically increase again. One solution are separate express roads for autonomous cars to improve traffic flows. In the long run, personal drones could bring people to where they need to go. Mumbai, likewise, is growing quickly. Congestion will get even worse in the process. Separate lanes for innovative, modern, fast buses are promising some solutions. There will be e-mobility zones and shared mobility concepts where people share different vehicles from one fleet. And do not forget, despite all the urbanization, we're looking at the future in country regions and rural areas, in thinly populated areas like in the eastern half of Germany. New mobility concepts enable you to remain mobile and to share, from community car sharing to mobility on demand, where classic public transportation is not economically viable. This, ladies and gentlemen, are just some highlights indicating in which direction we are doing our research in and what direction we're thinking in. The futures of mobility doesn't entail visionary, abstract approaches, but the research findings, in concrete terms, become part of the planning and development of new future products and services. They are first elements of our Volkswagen Group Strategy 2025+. One thing, however, is clear. No manufacturer, no company can go it alone, can manage this alone. The traffic and transportation turnaround requires a joint effort shared by all stakeholders, politicians, communities, the car industry, IT, public transportation companies and carriers. We need intermodal concepts, no island solutions, no isolated solutions. And here again, the following applies. We can only do that together. The Volkswagen Group's understanding of itself is that it's a partner to the cities and municipalities. We've established our own team for what we call urban solutions, to actively approach municipalities and together with cities generates ideas and accompanies cooperations. More than 50 cooperation projects and town twinnings and partnerships with cities exist in our groups already, from Somerville in the US to Shanghai and Barcelona to Stockholm. Further cooperation projects are in the planning stage. A strategic partnership with Hamburg is an impressive example. A couple of days ago, 50 e-golfs were handed over to citizens, companies and authorities to drive e-mobility forward in this Hanseatic city of Hamburg. MAN is testing autonomously driving trucks in the Hamburg harbor and on choice Autobahn sections. We are pilot testing new vehicle-to-X methods. Cars directly communicate with traffic lights to control traffic flow in real time. The VW brand brings its We Deliver service to Hamburg. DHL customers can have their parcels deposited in their boots or trunks of their cars. The Hamburg Airport, we're testing autonomous parking. E-cars are fully automatically charged while they're parked. Moja, our subsidiary for mobility services, starts its ride-pooling service this year in Hamburg. On these two last topics, you'll hear more in a minute. One centrally important component of the city of tomorrow is autonomous driving. It was exactly a year ago that here in Geneva, we were the first car maker to present a level 5 autonomously driving car, without driver, without a steering wheel or pedals. This year, we have Cedric here again, this time as a school bus. And that's just an indication of what public transportation can look like in the future, autonomously interconnected and highly flexible. Fellow variants are under development, for instance, for goods transport on the last mile. I'm particularly pleased to note Cedric will leave the pilot stage shortly, and one of our group brands will develop it to production maturity. As you can see, we put passion behind developing and designing tomorrow and the future. But we also realize it is now that we must get more efficient and cleaner cars into the cities at short notice to solve the most pressing problems. The last couple of days have shown again we cannot afford to waste any time. One way to get older cars off the roads quickly is our environment bonus. And it's taking effect. 160,000 customers in Germany have decided to turn in their old cars to change over to a modern Euro 6 standard vehicle. E-cars were bought, but also modern diesels and petrol engines, not to forget CNG, which is natural gas drive cars. The possibilities of this efficient and clean internal combustion engine drive are not fully developed to its limits yet. With a view to the future, we are banking on e-mobility. Our roadmap E, which I presented at the Frankfurt Motor Show in September, underlines our aspiration. The VW Group intends to be and will be the enabler of the breakthrough in e-mobility. We've already presented 8 electron models and plug-in hybrids as part of our program. Now we're igniting the next stage with 11 new model launches this year. In summer, we're introducing the new Audi Q6 e-tron with a range of 500 kilometers, and will hit the ground running in 2019 with 11 new models this year. In summer, the Audi Q6 e-tron will come, and then we'll have the new MAN and Scania. We have the first e-Crafter in autumn, and the VW ID commercial vehicles. The e-Crafter in autumn has already been mentioned, and MAN and Scania have their test operation in 2019, and then we'll have the production stand. So you see, we're putting roadmap E on its wheels with determination and quickly, and this is feeling really good. Electromobility in conjunction with the Internet of Things taps fascinating new possibility, not only when it comes to vehicles, but also with new services around mobility. Admittedly, VW has not exactly traditionally been a pioneer in this field, but we are in the process of changing. But see for yourselves.
Some of today's biggest problems are created by empty seats. But in a world that doesn't like sharing, how do you persuade people to fill these empty seats? You rethink everything. You remove the barriers. You maximize the quality of time spent on the seat. You make finding one easy. And minimize the amount of time waiting. And because the ride is shared, we can reduce congestion of our cities by 90%, with a price cheaper than a taxi. By doing this, we'll return cities to the people, one seat at a time. Introducing Moja, social movement.
Ja, meine Damen und Herren.
Right, ladies and gentlemen.
Mobility services.
Mobility services. These are on everyone's minds and in the limelight. Throughout our group, they remain a very important topic as they're an elementary component of our strategy 2025. We as a group, in 2016, have set up our own brand for mobility services, Moja. And it is for this reason that I particularly like to welcome young talent from this area. Imig Görnig, lead autonomous driving, and the CEO, Ola Hams. Ole. Right. Ebi and I are united by one thing. Please give her a big hand. She is celebrating a birthday today as well.
Ja, Genf, ich habe eben vom
Well, Geneva. I was just mentioning that it's the 88th time the Geneva Motor Show is taking place. Geneva's a normal trade fair ground. That's not your typical environment. You're more often seen at tech crunches around the world. Is that so? Yes, that's really so. But to be here is exciting. And as a startup, we're part and parcel of the Volkswagen Group, so it's good to be here with you. The whole world's talking about the traffic and transportation turnaround in cities. What's Moja's contribution? Well, that turnaround in transportation needs a wide offer for people's mobility needs, and this is where we're going with our pooling service between public transportation and individual mobility and traffic. We need regulators support, of course, and people will get used to it and eventually change the way they use mobility. Can you explain in simple terms how your service, Moya, is working? Well, the video showed it very succinctly. It's a combination of a digital product, the app, and a physical product, the vehicle. And this is what exemplifies and epitomizes our service. Using intelligent algorithms, many people who want to travel similar routes with different entry and exit points are clustered to use these cars, and we get traffic off the roads, freeing up the road space. Well, software alone will not carry the day, but you need hardware as well. You brought us something, haven't you? Yes, we've brought our car, and this vehicle has been specifically designed to meet the pooling users' needs. So we have a specific door, high roof, a lot of free space entering and exiting. We want our passengers and occupants to feel well inside. We guarantee a certain amount of private sphere, or cocooning, as we call it, on the seats. We're particularly proud to be driving fully electric with a range of 300 kilometers. Following WLTP cycle testing and by fast charging, we achieve 80% charge capacity in only 30 minutes. That sounds great. Can we use it or something similar? Yes, you can. In Hanover, since October last year, we've been testing a product there. And you can find the software environment. Again, not the car I've just described, but a different, also very great car from our strong cooperation part of Volkswagen Commercial Vehicles, the T6. We'll be able to take a look at this car and maybe even touch it and get a hands-on experience, sit inside. Thank you too for joining us tonight. I'm looking forward to seeing the Goya shuttle. You're probably looking forward to seeing it on the roads in Hamburg and other cities as well. We know that it drives electric and emission-free. And that's a very good transition to our next topic. And back over to you, Matthias Müller. Thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, talking about getting electromobility out of its niche, then exciting cars and fantastic engineering are one side of the coin. Of course, we'll deliver on these two areas, but we also present five new e-models and 2 plug-in hybrids from our group's portfolio. But only when people can charge these cars more quickly and more easily will this technology become pervasive quickly. We need more charging stations, a lot more charging points, and we need them everywhere, wherever people move, where they live. On express roads, autobahns, in residential areas and in public spaces. Just think of your parking garages when you leave your car, while you go shopping with your children or go to the cinema. Cars should charge, and it's best if it works fully automatic. Parking your car and charging it needs to be fully automatic, and we're working on this. I welcome a guest who's going to illustrate, as he's an expert in robotics like no other, what this means. It's the CEO of KUKA, Till Reuter. Mr. Reuter, you've been building industrial robots for decades, right? For the motor industry and Volkswagen. And today you've brought us something entirely new. Yes, we brought you something special, which is a mobile service robot for automatic charging. Volkswagen Group Research and Development and KUKA's Research and Development Department have conjoined efforts to develop this charging robot, and it's very important to note how the car and the robot can communicate. How does it find the charging point? How can it open the flap? How can the robot know that charging's complete? With Carla, we've developed the first fully automatic charging robot made by Volkswagen and KUKA. And here in the video, we saw Carla charge a Cedric. In the long run, that, of course, is an ideal visionary approach. You leave your car in front of a parking garage. Your car finds its parking space on its own, and it's then charged by Carla, the service robot. Yes, indeed. With its special little wheels, it can navigate to near the car. Very precisely, we've got a 7-axle sensor-equipped robot arm. It can grip the connector, and using the camera fitted, it can put the connector in the charging plug, and we've got an ideal situation for consumers. What about safety? Well, safety is paramount. Of course, we know that from production. Human-machine interaction, the robot has sensors in all its 7 axles. Those are so-called torque sensors. That's very safe because it has a anti-pinch rollback function, and it's about man-machine cooperation and working together. Can Carla charge any car or just group cars? Well, we're an innovation driver. We want to offer pilot applications quickly. It can charge any car. We want to set standards across the industry, and we believe that we're in the vanguard with the Carla development. For the parking garages, of course, this is a multifunctional robot, and for your garage at home, it will be useful indeed as well. It's a multifunctional device. Ladies and gentlemen, I am convinced that such service robots have a future. It's a visionary approach looking far ahead into the future, but we're in the process with one of our brands to make this vision a reality and to develop it to production maturity. We're very pleased to see that Volkswagen and KUKA are right on the cutting edge of development, and we should really make this product a production reality as quickly as possible. Thank you very much, Carla. Thank you very much to Reuter. Ladies and gentlemen, with this look into a future that is not so distant, this first part of our evening ends. It is a future in which service robots save us time, giving us convenience, where electric and autonomously driving shuttles take the driving chore away from us, and we can sit back and relax if we so wish. Here in Geneva, we are showcasing what mobility of the future can look like tomorrow. According to us, some things will hit the roads very soon. Some things look like science fiction, but are more real than many of you believe. Like the pop-up, it's a combination from an electric microcar and a flight element, a passenger capsule which is lifted in the air by this device. We presented the pop-up as a world premiere a year ago in Geneva. Our subsidiary Ital Design, together with Airbus, will present the fascinating concept as it's been further developed in the meantime. Mobility becomes three-dimensional on that note, and the car conquers the airspace. You should miss that presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, Volkswagen wants to be part of the solution, and I remain convinced with our 12 brands, we are better placed than any other mobility company. As a group, we have the size and the global footprint to really fundamentally change things, to move things, as we are active in offering mobility in all its facets, from the motorcycle to standard coaches, from good value to luxury segments. And because we have indeed understood that what with all the enthusiasm for cars, what characterizes us and makes us so successful, technology is always only a means to an end. It is about human beings to design their living spaces and to ensure this liberty that becomes possible through individual mobility only, shaping the future for people and with them. This is our ambition, and we're doing everything to achieve this. Thank you very much for listening. I wish all of you a successful Geneva Motor Show 2018. Now, we're starting with a first, very special brand highlight for you here in Geneva, a look to the future of the brand VW.
ID Vision, the car of the future beyond tomorrow, the new flagship of the ID family. Chairman of the Board of Management of the Volkswagen Passenger Cars brand, Dr. Herbert Dies.
Ja, meine Damen und Herren, einen schönen guten Abend.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Wir von Volkswagen
We from Volkswagen have brought you the ID Vision to Geneva. Our concept of an automobile for individual mobility of the future. At the helm of our ID model range, it shows what our brand can achieve in terms of engineering, design and quality. Every Volkswagen is a reliable companion in your everyday life, the ID Vision is even more. It's the most personalized, more emotional and most customized Volkswagen. It's very individual in nature, and it demonstrates that even in the future, which is electrical and autonomous driving based, we will have very attractive, individualized automobiles which are tailored to reflect your personality and not just uniform metal boxes. The interior shape and materials of a lounge generate a character of radical simplification, minimalism, clear operation, effortless mobility. As you like, the passenger can enjoy entertainment, information, can relax or can work. The ID, like other models of the series, the Vision, has its battery flat in the car floor. 2 motors in the axles make four-wheel drive possible. The range of 600 kilometers is long enough for long-haul travel as well. And I'm sure many people will want to own such a car. And if you want to, you can share it with your family, with friends, and with whomever you like. The ID Vision is our very real vision for a Volkswagen of tomorrow, and we will produce it. We will manufacture it. By 2022, at the latest, as the top sedan of the ID family of products with the then innovative ID cockpit. It's got the outer package dimensions of a Passat, and on the inside, the cabin is as large as a Phaeton, and it's prepared for autonomous driving to step by step take over from the driver if the driver so wishes. And ladies and gentlemen, the ID Vision is part and parcel of our product and technology strategy. Its basis is the MEB platform, our technology platform, which has been radically designed to meet the needs of electromobility. Our 4 concept cars of the ID family illustrate what this architecture can do and how powerful a tool Volkswagen has created on this basis. By 2025, on the basis of the MEB in the Volkswagen Group, 150 fully electric models will reach production maturity. At least 1 million fully electric vehicles will be built per annum by the Volkswagen brand by 2025, and the ID Vision is the flagship at the top of that family. More on the ID Vision tomorrow morning at a press conference at 8. I thank you.
Super. Ja, das macht doch schon mal Vorfreude und schafft Vorfreude für den morgigen
Now,
Tag.
we're really looking forward to tomorrow. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this was the first look at the ID Vision, the youngest, the latest member of the ID family. As his siblings, he's going to be in the limelight of general interest indeed. In just a few minutes, we'll open the curtains, throw back the curtains, and the brands will present their novelties. Of course, our experts will be happy, and board members will be happy to take your questions. We'll give interviews. You have opportunities to take photographs or to ask them questions bilaterally. Today is only a preview of what's in store for you on the fair. Tomorrow morning, as Mr. Dies has already mentioned, at 8 o'clock we'll start with the first press conference. Now, please do have an entertaining, interesting and informative night, and let us throw back the curtains.